Hi everyone and welcome to today's morning report with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Antech Markets for Wednesday the 21st of May. The handover that the Asian markets have given the European trading has been fairly mixed to slightly negative. This has basically come on the back of declines both on Wall Street and in the Asian trading. And you've seen the Dow actually fall to a 3-week low on Wall Street, and Asian markets were also fairly mixed to slightly lower as well. The moves on Asia was sort of driven by the ongoing strengths in the yen, so that certainly pulled the Nikkei lower. And that came on the back of the Bank of Japan standing pat on its monetary policy, and suggesting that it was fairly comfortable with how everything was going, and also that it was likely to reach a 2% target of inflation in the middle of the projection period. So there was no real need to further ease monetary policy, and that, as I said, strengthened the yen, and that's what we're seeing as one of the major moves this morning. In terms of stock markets, DAX is basically flat. Ftse is almost flat as well at the moment. CAC is slightly lower, but yes, the intention of the equity traders seems to be to the downside, though certainly in the early trading anyway. The factors that we are having at play at the moment is that you've got this Ftse index that is still slightly. It's actually had a fairly significant push higher. I think on a quiet day, that would be a fairly reasonable push higher. Certainly back towards that 13 mark, having been in the low 12s. So it could possibly suggest that equity markets are beginning to think about possibly becoming more volatile, and that could suggest a bit of a correction coming due. In terms of the dollar index, that is lower, and that is generally on the back of that stronger yen that we're seeing today. The economic announcements that we've got include the Bank of England meeting minutes and FOMC meeting minutes. So those two central banks both giving updates on their monetary policy in terms of how they how the members of their respective committees gave their views last couple of weeks ago. The Bank of England is expected to remain unanimously with no change, so there would be a big surprise if there was any sort of dissension in that decision. So to keep an eye out on that at 9:30 UK time, and also this evening you've got the FOMC at 7 o'clock UK time. You had a couple of Fed members yesterday coming out. Bill Dudley, who's a traditional dove, he gave just an update, and also Charles Plosser as well, who is a hawk. So both pretty much stuck to their traditional lines, and had no major impact on the markets yesterday. But you've got further FOMC members today speaking. You've got Janet Yellen and Koch Lakota as well, so you could see a little bit of movement ahead of the FOMC meeting minutes, but that is the FOMC meeting minutes are announced at 7 o'clock tonight. Also, you've got the UK retail sales today that come out at 9:30 UK time. In fact, it's actually expected to come in at 5.2% for the year annualized, so that is actually back up around about the levels that we saw in December, where you got 5.4%, and that is back at almost 10-year highs there on the retail sales there for the UK. So a strong number is projected there. You've also got Eurozone confidence at 3 o'clock as well, expected to come in flat at 0.86 down on the month. So that takes me on to my chart of the day, which is the FTSE 100. Ftse has been in the last couple of days beginning to pull lower, and it's, if you see on this daily chart, you've seen an uptrend that has been broken. If I were to draw that in, that uptrend has been broken now, so you would arguably say that it's beginning to now be in the correction mode. But I'll show you also on the intraday chart in a minute. But first of all, the thing that you would say is that on these momentum indicators, you've got a crossover sell signal on the MACD. You've had a confirmed sell signal now on the stochastics where they cross over and then fall back below the 80 line, and also the RSI is at the lowest since late April as well. So it looks like the FTSE is now entering into correction mode. On the intraday chart, you've also got what is now a head and shoulders top pattern. You've got the left hand shoulder there, the head, and then the right hand shoulder, and that has completed late yesterday and sort of confirmed early this morning. Although you have had in the last couple of minutes, you've had a jump higher back towards neutral or back towards flat on the FTSE, but I still think that this is suggesting there's downside strength potential in this chart. And one observation I also would make is that you've had this 55-hour moving average, which provided support on the bull run higher, but has now turned over and provided resistance in the last couple of days. So that comes in at 68.44.45, and I would say that also you've got these momentum indicators which had been in strong configuration through the run higher have now turned negative with the MACD lines below neutral on the hourly chart, and also the stochastics consistently now for the past few days in a bearish configuration. So I would say that downside pressure is growing, I think, on this FTSE chart, and that rallies, it looks increasingly as though rallies are a chance to sell, so I'd be looking at that today. In fact, as I said, in the last few minutes we've had a bit of a jump higher back towards resistance around about 68.10. Is a resistance area on the FTSE, but you'd say there was a reaction high yesterday at 68.19, which is a possible area to sell, but also the key initial key high is 68.51, which was also a reaction high as well. So a couple of resistances there to look out for on the FTSE, but it looks like with what we're seeing at the moment is just a pullback towards this the neckline resistance of the top pattern, and it could be a chance to sell. Couple of Fibonacci levels. 67.47 is a 38.2% Fibonacci retracement of the big bull run from 65.07 up towards 68.95. Okay, so I wish you good luck in your trading on FTSE 100 today, and anything else you wish to trade, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.